Hello, good evening, everyone. Am I
Hello,
audible?
ma'am. Hello, hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Good evening,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. So today is your doubt session for week one. So if you have any doubt regarding to the topics of week one, you can ask, or we can start by activity.
Oh, ma'am. So today is week one session.
Yes. So do you have any doubt from activity 1.1? Any question? So did you all try to solve these questions or not?
Yes, ma'am. Try.
Okay, so are you all able to solve each and every question or any doubt? You can ask your doubts. Not from this, then we can move on to the activity 1.2. Any question from this? No doubt?
Ma'am,
Yes.
isn't lyrics of a strong song unstructured data?
Yeah, lyrics will be unstructured.
Can you just explain that alone, ma'am?
Sorry.
Can you just explain that alone, one?
So you know that like lyrics will be in textual format. So interpreting the lyrics directly will be difficult, right? So whatever information you are trying to get from the lyrics of a song, you will have to organize it first because it is unstructured, right? And then only you can interpret it.
Ma'am, but doesn't the song come in an order? Like, let's say first it has a first meaningful first para, and then it goes second para, and then it goes third. So doesn't it seem ordered?
So by like so the information you are trying to get, okay, so if the songs is in the like you are saying that in the paragraph form, so that is ordered because it's a lyrics, it's a song, so it will be in ordered way. But the information you're trying to get, that you cannot get directly from it.
So the question for the answer for the second question would be uh, structured or not structured one.
The structure.
Okay.
Okay, any other question?
Ma'am, can you please explain activity 1.3, question number 8?
Question number 8. Okay. So the question is, suppose one is interested in calculating the weight of a bag in kg before leaving the airport. What kind of variable is the weight of a bag? Okay, so how do you measure the weight? Like suppose if you have a bag, then the weight of a bag could be like 20 kg, 13 kg, or 13.5 kg, right? Like it can take any value. And first of all, it is quantitative, right? Do you agree with this? That it should be quantitative and not qualitative,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it will be quantitative, right? Because we are measuring it with the help of numbers, right? So it is a numerical variable, first of all. And in numerical variable, we have two types, right? Discrete and continuous. So discrete are those variables which takes distinct values on a real line. So discrete variables, we count them. And the variable which we measure, right? Because it can take any value in the real line. Like if we have an interval, so it can take any value between the intervals, right? So Like if you have a bag, then it can be 15 kg, right? Or 15.2 kg, right? Or 15.25 also, right? Okay. So in the airport, like the weight limit is 0 to 15 kg, right? So it can take any value in this interval, 0 to 15, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it will be continuous.
Okay, ma'am, got it. Ma'am, question number 6 as well.
Okay. So question number 6 is number of days of a group of students take to finish a school project is quantitative and discrete, quantitative continuous, qualitative, quantitative but not discrete or quantitative. So it will also be a quantitative variable, right? Number of days. So we can count number of days, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So whenever we talk about count, it should be a discrete variable.
Oh,
Like
okay, ma'am, got
talking
it.
about the whole day, like 1 day, 2 day, or 3 days, 5 days, right? So this is a numerical variable or a quantitative and discrete variable.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, what
Excuse me, ma'am.
exactly?
Ma'am, please explain the activity 2.1.2 question number 4.
Question number 4. Okay. So in this question, so you can see the question is the values of temperature and relative humidity of a room are measured for 24 hours, starting at 9 a.m. at time interval of 30 minutes. So what are the cases and variables for this data? Okay, so you can see these three variables like time, temperature, relative humidity are there, right? Because these are taking different values. So like temperature is taking 27, 29, 31, 35, 36, right? And relative humidity 30%, 30%, 32%, right? And the time is also taking values at the interval of 30 minutes, like 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., right? So in this way, we have three variables: time, temperature, and relative humidity. Okay. Now, if we talk about the case, so we are measuring the temperature and relative humidity at different point of time, right? Like at 9 a.m., we have measured the temperature and relative humidity. Then at 9:30 a.m., we have taken the values of these two variables again, temperature and relative humidity. Then for 10 a.m., right? Similarly for 10:30, 11 up to 4 p.m., right? So these point of time, like 9 a.m., 9:30, 10, these will be your cases. So the last option, 9 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m. are cases, and time, temperature, relative humidity are variables. This will be the correct option.
Can
Okay?
we discuss about hello?
Yes.
Can we discuss about week 2 assignment?
Week 2, we will discuss in the upcoming session. First, we will understand the topics, and then we will have the doubt session. Okay, so there we can discuss those questions.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, why only 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m.? All
Oh,
the.
yeah,
Mhm.
all 9 a.m., 9:30 up to 4 p.m. All these are cases.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because it was
Yeah.
confusing over there.
No. All these are cases.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Any other question? From any other activity?
Activity 1.4 question number 3.
Question number 3. Okay. So a survey has been conducted to determine the amount of time in minutes a student below the age of 12 spends on on playing video games. The students are being given the following options to choose from. So options are less than 30, 30 to 45, 45 to 60, and then more than 60. So we have to tell what kind of scale of measurement has been used here. So anyone would like to answer? What should be the correct answer?
This is question number 3.
Yes, for question number 3.
Ordinal scale.
Yeah, ordinal, and why?
Because we have the ratio and and
Ma'am, it's maybe just because name categories are there which can be given in a ordered format.
Yes. So here you can
Hello.
see that 4 options are given: less than 30, 30 to 45, 40 to 60, and more than 60. So we can see like these are the categories, okay, which have some order in it, right?
Hello.
Because, yes,
Yeah, I think it's interval scale.
it
Because
could be
those
interval scale if the
Hmm.
difference between these intervals is fixed or same.
Hmm.
But here you can see in the first option, it is less than 30. So less than 30 can be 0 minutes or 10 minutes, 10.5 or 20 minutes, right? And in
Yeah,
30 to 45, there is an interval of like 15. Difference of
15.
15 is there, right?
Hmm.
In third option also, but in fourth option again, you can see more than 60. So more than 60 can be any value, right?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
but for interval scale, the difference between two values should be fixed.
Okay, no.
Okay, so here you can see these are just categories, right? But they have some order in it, right? Because the time is spent in this category less than 30, right, is less than this category 30 to 45 minutes, right? Again, this
Okay.
category 30 to 45, the student is spending less time than this category 40 to 60, right? 45 to 60. So there is some order in it, right? So like it is a case of name or categories plus order. So it will be a case of ordinal scale, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the scale of measurement for phone number? The same activity, question number 5, I'm not able to get.
Okay. So phone number, although phone number uses the numbers, but you can see like if you have two phone numbers,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, I'm randomly writing two phone
It
numbers.
could be nominal.
Suppose it is a one phone number, and suppose this is another. So you can see that in these phone numbers, these are just categorizing the category. Like these are just labeling our observation, but you can see that we cannot perform any mathematical operation and there is no order in the phone number, right? So can you say that, suppose this is phone number first and this is second. Can you say that phone number first is greater than phone number two? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Or we cannot make any third phone number by adding these two, right? Which means that we cannot perform the mathematical operations, right? And there is no like we cannot compare these two also. So this is just a nominal variable,
Okay,
right?
ma'am. Got it. Yes, ma'am.
And similarly, the PNR number and the registration, okay, PNR number or any the number which we get when we book a ticket. So that will also be a nominal variable. Okay, so something that does not have order will come under the nominal scale. Okay, any other
Please
question?
describe a ratio scale as well.
Okay, so in ratio scale, so first of all, ratio scale is scale of measurement is used for numerical variables, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have two scale for numerical variable. We have two scales of measurement, interval and ratio. So in interval, we do not have absolute zero. So here zero is an arbitrary point, but in ratio, there is a true 0 point. True 0 point, right? Okay. And in ratio, we can perform all the arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Because here zero means zero has its real meaning, zero, which shows the absence of that variable, right?
Yes.
So suppose if you are measuring the height of something, okay? So if the height is zero, suppose, which means that particular item or thing does not have any height, right? Which means it is showing the absence of the height of that variable in that particular item, right?
Yes.
Or suppose we have a rod. Suppose the rod one is of 2 meter and the other rod is 1 meter. So we can say that this rod is double of this. The length of this rod, which is 2 meter, is double of this one, right? Like a meaningful ratio is there. Okay, because zero is there, true 0 point is there. That's why we are able to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, all four arithmetic operations. But in case of interval, we can perform only addition and subtraction because there is no true 0 point. Zero is an arbitrary point, right? Okay, so any doubt?
Why pin code is a variable, not a variable?
Pin code is not a variable, you are saying, or not a numerical
No.
variable.
Yes,
Pin code is nominal, I think. No?
Pin code will also be nominal.
Yes.
Like similar to the phone number, pin code is also a nominal variable. So although it is using the numbers, it doesn't mean that it is a numerical variable because there is no meaning of it, right?
Yeah, it is just replacing the name of the city, right? Because for every city we have a particular pin
Yeah.
code.
So for every city or so just labeling, right? It does not mean that pin code of city number 1 is greater than city number 2. Or we cannot perform any mathematical operations on the pin code, right? So no
Yes.
pin code is superior to other. Like just categorizing the cities. Any other question?
Ma'am, why only subtraction can be used to convert the variable to interval scale into ratio scale?
Because in interval, if you have two variables with interval scale of measurement, so if you subtract them, okay, so suppose like if you subtract the same value, right, you will get a zero, which will be representing a true zero value, right? So suppose if I take example of rating, okay, so suppose we have a variable, one variable rating, okay, another rating of suppose another thing, right? And then we're taking the difference of it. Okay. So like for this, we have values like 5, 3, 2, 4. For this, suppose we have 4, 3, 5, 2. Okay. So if you subtract these two, it will be 1, 0. Okay. And then it will be in minus. And this will be 2 again. Right. So here you can see you are getting a 0, which means which is a true 0 point and not an arbitrary 0 point, which means difference is 0. Like there is no difference in these two values. These are same, right? So this variable, which is difference, this will be in ratio is 2. Because here we have a true 0 point, right? Is it clear now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, any other questions?
What is the scale of measurement for the amount of money?
Amount of money. So what should be according to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what should be the answer according to you
It
for
should be
money?
ratio, right?
Yes, it should be ratio, because if you can check this point whether there is a true 0 point or not. So if money is 0, which means there is no money, right? Which is representing the absence of that variable, which is money here,
Yes.
right? Okay, and the ratio also you can check a ratio of two values. Like someone has 50 rupees, someone has 100 rupees. So you can say that like person 1 has 50 rupees and person 2 has 100 rupees. So person 2 has double of person 1, right? Double money of person 1, right? So there is a meaningful ratio between the two values, right? And true 0 point is existing. So for amount of money, the scale of measurement will be ratio. Okay, any other question?
So why the number of assignments submitted by student is a ratio is a interval scale?
Number of assignments submitted is an interval scale. Why? The number of assignments submitted will be ratio, not interval, right?
It will ratio.
Yes, it will be ratio.
Okay.
Practice assignment 1.2, question number 12.
1.2, right? Or
Yes,
1.1.
question number 12.
Okay. Yes, so the head of a locality in Chennai conducted a survey in her locality regarding COVID-19. According to the survey, statement 1 is 59% of the residents consider COVID-19 to be a serious disease. And statement 2 is 41% consider it is a normal flu and are of the opinion that there should not be any lockdown. Okay. So the question is, which of the following is a case observation for the above data? So what should be the answer according to you? Anyone?
The key point is COVID-19. So we can relate COVID-19.
Okay, so reread the question. The question is, the head of localities in Chennai conducted a survey in her locality regarding the COVID-19, right? So like
The
she will
person
be,
who answer
Yes, because she will be asking to the person or the household in the localities, right? Okay, so there will be some person who will be answering these questions. Okay, so the person we have surveyed, those will be our cases. Okay,
Ma'am, question number 3, 4, 5.
question number 3, 4, 5 in this same activity, same practice assignment.
Ma'am, I'm a bit confused between discrete numerical variable and continuous numerical variable. Can you please explain this?
Okay. Okay, so see, what is discrete and what is continuous? So for discrete is something that we can count, right? And continuous is something that we can measure. Like from this, you can get a quick understanding of what is discrete and what is continuous. So discrete variable takes distinct values on the real line, right? And continuous variable is something that can take any value between an interval, right? So suppose if you are
Right.
counting the number of customers, okay, at a store, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it will be like number of customers will be discrete. Why? Because we are counting a person or the customer. So it will be a whole number, right? Like 10 customers are there, 5 customers are there, or 4 customers are there, right? So
Right.
suppose like it is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it will be taking these values, these distinct values, either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will not
Right.
be taking any value between these two values, right? It cannot be number of person, number of customers cannot be like 1.5 or 1.56, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it will come under
Okay.
a discrete variable. Okay. And if you are
Okay.
counting, suppose if you are measuring something, right?
Right.
Like if you're trying to measuring the water in a bucket, amount of water in a
Mm-hmm.
bucket. Okay. Suppose it is 10 liter, maybe it is 10 liter, maybe it is 10.5 liter. Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you are measuring it and not counting it, right?
Okay.
Like suppose the capacity of a bucket is suppose 20 liter. So the interval is like 0 to 20. Okay. So the amount of
Mm-hmm.
water in the bucket can be between 0 to 20 liter. And it can take any value in this interval, right?
Right.
Okay. So it will be continuous variable.
Okay. So things we are counting is in discrete and things we are measuring is in
Continuous.
continuous. And ma'am, you previously told us that if rating is in the form of integer, then it would be numerical or nominal
Rating.
rating. If it is in the form of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the form of integer, so
Hmm.
would it be counted as a numerical variable or nominal variable?
See, if you are talking about rating, it could be either ordinal or it will be interval. Okay, so that depends how you are defining it. So we cannot generalize this thing. So suppose if the rating is something like poor, good, and excellent,
Mm-hmm. This is
okay,
ordinal.
then this is ordinal, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
what we can do, we can code this thing also. Suppose we are representing poor as 1, good as 2, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and excellent as 3. Then even if we are representing, we are using the numbers, but what does it mean here? 1 is representing poor, 2 is representing good, and 3 is representing excellent, right? So in
Right.
that case, it will be ordinal.
Ordinal, yes.
Okay,
Because we can code it also with the numbers.
yes.
But if in the same question 3, 4, 5, it is
Hmm.
given in the table, rating is in the form of integer.
Yeah. So
So
if we are not assigning these values like poor, good, excellent, these nominal, ordinal kind of variable, so in
mhm,
that case, suppose we have rating on a star basis like one star, 2 star, up to 5 star, suppose,
mhm,
and we are not assigning these kind of values.
mhm.
So it should be interval scale, although it depends like how the rating is defined. Because for
Ma'am,
interval scale, the difference of two values we can find, but the ratio we cannot find. So if it satisfies this property, it will come under the interval scale.
but ma'am, in the answer it is given continuous numerical value. Question 3, 4,
Okay,
5.
okay. No, see, continuous numerical value is something else, and you are talking about the scale. So scale is different thing, and discrete and continuous variable is different thing, right?
Okay, so question is first question is fifth
Uh,
question is fifth question, ma'am. Can you please explain that?
this one,
Question number 3, 4, 5. Fifth question.
uh, ac- uh, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, ma'am.
This one, okay. Okay, so the question is, Google provides user with the option to rate an app on their Play Store. A user can rate an app by giving the integer rating from 1 to 5. The rating
Yes.
of the app is then computed as the arithmetic mean of all the users. Then table shows the rating given by users and average rating of apps respectively.
Yes, ma'am.
So the question number 3 is, what kind of variable is the rating given by each user to an app? So here, like we are not talking about the good, poor in this way. We are taking the numbers only, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
here, 2 is definitely greater than 1,
Huh.
right? Like it is a
Mm-hmm.
numerical variable. Okay, so in this example, so like here I have coded is like 1, 2, 3. I can code it like this also. Like I can give this 3, 2, and 1, right? So here
Mm.
it does not have its like the numerical meaning of it. Okay, in general, 3 is greater than 1, but here you can see that 1 is superior to 3, right? So
Mm.
here it will not be a numerical variable. Okay, but in this question, we are talking about the numbers only, right? On the basis of
Yes,
number,
ma'am.
we are rating it. So it will be a numerical
Mm-hmm.
variable. Also, we are not like the rating is in the whole number, right? One star, 2 star, 5 star, 3 star. We are not taking the values between these two,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it will
Right,
be
ma'am.
discrete and not continuous.
Okay, so
Like
it would be discrete numerical value.
discrete numerical, yes.
And
Okay,
second one
but
would be continuous.
uh,
Question fifth.
question 5 is, what kind of variable is the overall rating of an app? Okay, so what is the overall rating? Overall rating is the arithmetic mean of all these, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take the mean of it will become a continuous variable. So you can see that it is 4.25, 3.5. So if you
Yes,
calculate the
ma'am.
mean of these values, okay, so it's not like compulsory to be an integer only. So it can take any
Yeah,
value. So
exactly.
that's why it will become, this average will become the continuous variable.
Okay, ma'am. So apart from measurement capacity, we can say if the values are in the points, so we can consider it in the continuous values.
Okay, one more thing, like that you need to understand by the context of the question. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Okay.
we can have decimal value in discrete variable also. So suppose we have options like 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5, suppose. Okay, so
Okay,
only
ma'am.
4 values are there, which a variable or something like we have something, some
Hmm.
question in which a variable can take only these four values. Okay.
Okay.
So even though it is in decibel, right? But the variable is not taking any other value or any value between these values, right? So it will be a discrete only.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so that you need to understand by the question, by the context of it. Okay, what we are doing there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Any other question?
Ma'am, question number 13, 14.
Okay. Question number 13. Okay. So if all the residents of the locality participated in the survey, what statistical analysis can be done using this data? Okay, so your question is, so if on the basis of locality we are talking about the entire India, then it would be inferential.
So, ma'am, locality, all the locality population would not be considered under population. This was confusing. That's why.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, what answer is given here in this?
I think it should be
Descriptive.
inferential.
But that was wrong. It is
but
given descriptive.
Question number 12, right? Sorry,
Right,
13.
ma'am. 13 and 14. Yeah, ma'am. 12, 13, 14.
Okay,
13, 14 especially.
so the thing is, the question can be more clear. Actually, the thing is, if they are predicting on the basis of locality for the entire India or for a large population, then it should be inferential. Okay, but if we are not, if we are only taking the locality only, okay, and if we are taking all the person, all the resident in locality, and we are talking, we are like making the conclusions for the locality only, then it will be descriptive.
Ma'am, there can be a case like, there are few people who are, taking it as a flu. They will be very lenient about the, precautions which they have to take. And this would actually increase the COVID-19 cases in the locality itself, right? So this can be an inferential data as well, even for the locality.
Yes, if we are taking a sample of locality, right? In that case. Like if
Okay,
you're not,
if we are taking sample of the, in that case, the inferential statics would be used for the entire population.
yes.
Because in the
So what is
yeah,
inferential? So suppose if we have taken a sample from a population, and on the basis of sample, we are making some conclusions for the population, then it becomes inferential statistics, right?
right. Because they have given numbers in the second question, in question 14, data from collected from 100 of the locality residents.
Hmm.
But in first one, it was confusing why it is not why it is not inferential, it is descriptive.
Okay, see, in the description, you can see that since all the residents of the locality in Chennai participated in the survey, head of the locality has entire population. So here actually entire population with her, that is she only needs to arrange the data to derive the property from population which comes under the descriptive statistics. So actually in this question, there the population the head of the department is taking is the locality only. Okay, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
if we are taking all the residents of the locality and she is worrying about the locality only, not the
Mm-hmm.
entire city or something, so then
Mm-hmm.
it becomes descriptive statistics.
And also, ma'am, here
So
is
the
no
question could
sample.
be more
Here is
clear.
only population.
Sorry.
Ma'am, in this question, in 13 questions, here is not sample. There is only population. So in inferential static, there need both population and sample. Here is only population. So it is descriptive.
Yes. So actually the
Thank you,
thing
ma'am.
is, they are talking about the locality only. Okay, and they are not taking any sample or something. Okay, so if they
Okay,
are
ma'am.
taking, if they are serving all the units, like all the residents, and performing the analysis on them, it will be descriptive.
Okay, ma'am.
But ma'am,
Hmm.
even for the locality, the objective of the head of the locality is to spread to control the spread of the COVID-19, right? So now if there are few people who are not serious about the disease and they will be lenient about the precautions, this will actually spread the data. So this is actually an inferential data even for the locality, isn't it? This is not just giving us the data about the locality. We can make an inference from here that if people are considering it just as a flu, they will not take those precautions which are necessary. This will spread COVID-19 fast, right? Even in the society.
Yes, we can do inferential things also if we are taking like as a sample the all the locality members, and we are talking about the whole city or the entire country on the basis of the locality sample. Okay, so then it can be inferential also. I think the thing is the question can be more clear because on the basis of this we can perform the descriptive as well. And if we are trying to make some inference about the large population, it will be inferential. Okay, but in the question they are trying to ask about the locality only, so that is why the answer is descriptive because they have taken all the residents for the locality.
From the data of the locality, the head of the locality can reach a
Hmm.
conclusion that he has
Hmm.
to spread awareness about the disease. So
Hmm.
this inference he can make with the data, which he is getting even for his locality, right? So this is an inference. This is he will reach some conclusion even with the data. It is not just that he will be able to describe the data. So I think this question should be considered, for a review.
Uh, okay, that is fine. But okay, the question is made based on the statement which are given here.
Okay.
Okay, and we are not talking about the inference that we can make.
Treatment 59% of the residents consider COVID-19 to be a serious disease. 41% consider this as normal flu and are of the opinion there should not be any lockdown. Right.
Okay, we will see this question again. If there is any ambiguity, we will change it.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Correct it. Okay, any other
Ma'am,
question? Hmm.
ma'am, in any table, we have only one case, and we have observation of the case, or we could have more than one uh, cases as a column.
Okay, so cases and observations both are same thing, like they are synonym for each other. Okay, and we can have multiple cases.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, like definitely we will be having multiple cases. Like if you are collecting a data, you will not collect a data from a single person or from a single object only. Like if you are serving the locality, you will not ask to the one person only. You will ask multiple persons, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Uh,
do you understand what is variable, what is case observation?
Yes, ma'am. Cases are the records which we are collecting from people or from any product for any specific thing, and variables are the categories, columns, what kind of information we are collecting. But
And
I
this
was confusing
variable,
because
hmm,
I was confusing because in some questions they have asked which are the following is our cases. So I was a bit confused. There could be many other column could be considered as cases. So like
so
question number
like
16 and question number
question number 16.
and 9. Question number 9.
Okay, 16 we'll discuss first and 9. So in this table, you can see the question is a biomedical company generated a new vaccine for COVID-19 and tested it on the few people. After a few days, medical checkup was done on them, and the report is given in table. It stands for BP stands for blood pressure, HP for high pressure, LP for low pressure. Okay. So what we are doing,
Okay,
we
ma'am.
are like doing this experiment on the people, right? So the different individual person, Venkatesh, Hitesh, Kirti, these will be our cases, right? All these names,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
Venkatesh, Hitesh, Kirti, Manish, Dharma, Joseph, Farah, Ramkrishna, these will be your cases. For these person, for each person, we are collecting these variables: gender, weight, BP, temperature, headache, and vomiting, right?
Okay,
So
ma'am.
like something from which we collect the information. That is
mm,
our case. Okay, and it's not compulsory to be the case should be a name only, name of a person. It could be anything.
Okay, ma'am.
yeah.
And in question 9, the table shows one bike brand and then bike specific bike brand name. So that was confusing that I should consider Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki as a whole or a specific bike category as a case. So
Okay, yeah. So in this question, Naresh is a bike enthusiast and wants to know about the specification of all the major bikes available in the market. So he collects the data for different bike models, right?
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
about the company.
Yeah. So he is
okay,
interested in the different bike models and not on the brand only. Like for different models, he is collecting the data. Okay, and for each model, he is collecting the brand name also.
got it,
Yeah.
ma'am. Got it. Got the
Ma'am,
Now
difference.
is it clear, like for what or for which from which we are trying to collect the data? So for this
Okay,
particular bike model, we are trying to get these information, mileage, displacement, number of cylinders, these things. Like, okay, so from this bike model, we are trying to get all these information. So that will be your
okay,
case.
okay, ma'am. Thank
all
you,
right.
ma'am.
Question number 13, we were discussing. A closer look at the question. I am also now changing my views. It should be descriptive only because it is in the second statement. It is talking about a lockdown, and lockdown will not only be imposed. It will not be imposed just in the colony, right? It will be imposed during in the whole city or in the whole state. So that's why it is descriptive. I change my view.
Okay. Any other question?
Ma'am, temperature would come under which measurement scale?
So temperature in general, you cannot say. You will have to see like in what scale you are measuring the temperature. Is it in Celsius or Fahrenheit or Kelvin? Okay, so this thing matters. So if it is in the Celsius, so you know that 0 degree is also a temperature. 0 degree is a arbitrary point on a temperature on a degree Celsius temperature scale.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that will be interval. Okay, because it's not representing the absence of the temperature.
If it is in Celsius, it would be interval. And if it is in Kelvin,
Kelvin, yeah. So 0 Kelvin, like no motion at that point, right? So that will be
yes,
your ratio scale.
ratio. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am,
It's very
question number 10.
Question number 10 in this one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the question 10 is, which of the following is a continuous variable in the byte data set? Okay. The first one is mileage in kilometer per liter. So what it should be? Continuous or discrete?
Ma'am, actually, continuous and discrete are a bit confusing for me. For discrete, I can give you the definition that for discrete, right now, which you told, that something which we can count, and continuous, something which can be measured.
Hmm. Or you can understand by this thing also, like a discrete variable do not take any value between two particular values, right? So you can see mileage in the kilometer, like it can be taking any value, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it will be continuous. So
So,
like you can see this one, number of cylinders. So number of cylinder will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this only, not 1.5, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it will be discrete. Okay.
Okay.
so ma'am, a fractional value, will it be a continuous or a discrete?
It depends on the context, right? So as I gave you the example, this one,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so if you have a variable which is taking these 4 values only, suppose, okay, not other value, not any value between these values, in that case it will be uh, discrete. Okay, but in major practical scenario you will see, okay, I'm not saying that all the time, every time, but
Mm-hmm.
in practical scenario you will see that fractional value is something a continuous variable will be taking. Like it's a rare case, but it can be possible also, like if anything, if a variable taking these values only. Okay, so in that case it is a distinct, like it is taking distinct values, these 4 distinct values only, right? So in that case it will be discrete variable. Okay, otherwise continuous variable, yeah, definitely it will take fractional values or decimal values also. Okay,
Okay.
but if a scenario is something like this, then it will be discrete. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't mean that discrete variable can never take fractional values. Okay.
Okay, so let's suppose there are 45 objects and they are being divided into 30 people. Each one of them get 1.5. So would that be a continuous or a discrete data?
So like the item is you can divide that item, or you cannot divide. Like what kind of item you are talking about?
Let's suppose there are 45 oranges and we have to distribute these oranges to 30 people. Everyone will get 1.5 oranges. So would that be a discrete data or a continuous data?
So like you are uh, distributing it not in a
Yeah.
whole way, right?
No, we are distributing 45 oranges among 30
Hmm.
people.
Okay.
So everyone will get 1.5 orange.
Okay.
So would that be a continuous data or a discrete data?
So that matters actually if you're talking about whole, like if you're counting the each slice also, then it can be discrete.
Okay.
It will not be continuous actually. It should be discrete only. Like it depends how you are talking, like how you're taking the orange.
Okay, let's suppose there are 45 balls and we have to distribute in 30 persons.
So you cannot break a ball, right?
Okay.
Yes.
No, we cannot break a ball.
So it will be a whole thing.
It will be discrete.
It will be discrete.
So is there a particular way that we can, decide at any point of time that, a fractional data is a discrete data or a continuous data? Because, this will be ambiguous all the time.
No, it's not like that. The things that I have mentioned, you can check all these points, right? And depends on the data or the context, how you are taking the item or a variable. Like if you're talking about the fruit, you can cut the fruit in your own way, right? So that is not like continuous or discrete. So that depends how you are distributing it. You are distributing the whole fruit, or you are uh, distributing it into pieces. So you cannot say like 1.5 oranges, like 1.5 you can see like half of it. But can you say 1.4 orange, 1.356 orange? No, right?
No.
Right? So it should not be continuous, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, any other question? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm a bit confused between ratio and interval measurement.
Okay. Okay, what's your confusion? What you don't understand about it?
Basic, ma'am, if you please explain it again.
Okay. So for numerical variable, we use two scales of measurement, right? Interval and ratio, right? So interval
Right.
is something which do not have a true 0 point, which means 0 is also representing some value. So
Okay.
most of the time you will see numerical variable as ratio, so that's why it's confusing sometimes. Okay, but if you have 0 as a true 0 point, what do you mean by 0? Like it represents the like the thing does not exist, or it is absent, right? Suppose
It
the
is absent. Yeah.
age, okay, suppose the age of a person is 0 years. What do you mean by
Mm-hmm.
it? Like the person does not exist, right? Because no one
Right.
can be of 0 years. At least of some hours, a baby will be like for some hours or some days even. But
Mm-hmm.
0 we cannot say. So it is representing the nothingness, like the thing or the person does not exist even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it is
Okay.
representing some kind of value, like on the temperature scale, I mean the Celsius temperature scale, we have a temperature 0 degree Celsius, which is also a temperature, like you can feel it. Okay, it is not like
Yes.
there is no temperature at all, right?
Hmm.
So if you have
Right.
something like this, then it will be interval. Okay, and since there is no true 0 point, that is why we are not able to perform multiplication and division on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's why we can perform only addition and subtraction. Okay, but ratio, like a normal numerical variable, you will see most of the time in the practical scenario. Okay, so here we have 0 as a true point. We can perform addition, subtraction, uh, we can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all the 4 operations. We can find the ratios between 2 values, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, any other question? From practice assignment 1.1.
Ma'am, Jersey number is a nominal variable.
Yes. Because there is no order in jersey number, right?
Right, ma'am.
Like
And
jersey
ma'am,
number.
if there are role of player, it would be considered as nominal. Batsman,
Role of player.
bowler, yeah.
So batsman, bowlers, it's just a position, but no one is superior to one another, right? So that will be
Right, ma'am.
nominal only.
Okay, 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 ma'am.
If you have that order, like one is superior to other, if there is order, then it will be ordinal scale.
Okay,
Otherwise, nominal.
fine, ma'am. Thank you. And ma'am, time series and cross-sectional, the difference between the both.
Yeah, so time series is something like the data that we record is over the period of time, or we can say at different point of time we collect the data.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and in cross-sectional, what we do, we collect the data, entire data at one point of time only.
Okay.
Okay, so over the period of time, that depends on you or the data, how we are defining it. So maybe we are collecting the data on different dates, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
for we are collecting the data weekly, right? For
Mm-hmm.
first
Right.
week of January, second week of January, then third week of January, then the fourth week. Or maybe we are collecting the data on the monthly basis, like for January, then for February, then for March, in this way also, or maybe for the years.
Mm-hmm.
So that depends on you how the time period is defined. Okay. Same for
Okay.
cross-sectional also. So maybe you're collecting the data for a single year for 2010. So you can divide 2000, like if you're getting confused that 2010 year has many months and many days, so that is different thing. Okay, but you are collecting
Mm-hmm.
the entire data for single year only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that will be cross-sectional.
Okay, for particular time period, if we are talking about that, then it would be the cross-sectional, otherwise it would be time series.
Yes. If the time is
Okay.
also changing, okay, so then it will be time series. If the time is fixed
Yeah.
for each case's observation, then it will be
Good.
cross-sectional.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Because in some questions, years had been mentioned because from 1972 to 1980, so that would be cross-sectional because at certain point of time we are
No, 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 no.
getting
See,
the data.
so what is the question? Can you tell me the question number?
Ma'am, I saw some question in the practice or
No, see,
maybe activity
like if you,
assignment.
okay, so if you're talking about from this year to this year,
Yes, ma'am.
like for different years, you are collecting the data, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So in that case, it will be time series.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because time is also changing for different years, you are collecting the data.
Okay. In some question, it was given a time range, year range. Between this year to this year, we are collecting data. So what kind of data it is? Okay.
Yes, so if you're collecting the data for each different year between that period, Okay.
So time
So
is
in that
changing.
case, it will be, yeah, it's kind of changing. Okay. So year is changing. So it will be time series.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a question. Can I ask?
Hmm.
It's from activity question 1.3, questions in number 6. So, number of days a group of students take to finish a school project. So, I know it's quantitative, but I don't understand why is it discrete? Like, can't you take can't a group of students take 3.5 days? Like, 3.5 days. So it's like discrete is when you have consistent gaps. Like if there is no like 1 2 3, it can't be 1.5. So there can be a 1.5 day. Like people can take like 3.5 days, right? So why is it discrete and not continuous? Am I making sense?
Yeah, it's fine. Your question, your doubt is correct. There is no not wrong. But like as we consider in a school project, like you will be given the complete day, not the half day, right?
Hmm.
So that's fine. Okay, you will be taking 3 days, 4 days. It will
Hmm.
not be like 3.56 days, 4.26 days. So that
Hmm.
does not make sense.
No, but you can like we won't say 1.5, but we can say like 3.5 days. It took me 3.5 days to finish this project.
Okay, so
It
it depends like if you're allowed to take like if you're taking the half day also, like 1 day, 1.5 day, 2 day,
hmm,
2.5 days,
hmm,
3 days, 3.5 days. If you're taking like this,
hmm,
that if it is allowed, then it will be a discrete only, right?
hmm,
Then also.
hmm.
In that
Okay.
case, variable will be taking 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, like this.
Uh,
Okay,
then
but
it'll
it will
be
not be like 1 day and 2 hours, 1 day, 3 hours.
hmm.
Okay.
So it is still discrete, like it is not continuous. Like
Yeah, then also it will be discrete only.
okay.
Okay,
So we
also
can't.
we count days as a whole number in
Hmm.
in most of the practical scenarios you see.
Hmm.
All right.
So yeah, so we have only like they have only asked the number of days, not hours. Like not how many hours it
Yes.
took. That's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not take if they are talking about the time we have taken, then
Hmm.
it could be any value. So in
Hmm.
that case, it could be continuous if we are
Okay.
allowed to take in that way. But here it is asking for the number of days,
Hmm.
which means we are counting it.
Hmm.
So it will be discrete only.
Hmm. Question number 4, ma'am. Yeah, like in
Madam,
this.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. So that discrete means it's a whole number. Like that we can take.
Okay, yeah. In most of the practical scenario, you will see this thing that discrete, or most of the time, it will be a whole number, and continuous most of the time, it will be taking fractional values as well. But okay, as I gave this example, this one,
Then what is actually what is discrete means? What is the exact meaning actually?
which takes distinct values on the real line,
Distinct value.
distinct values. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
distinct values can be in decimal also, right? As I
Yes.
gave you this example, right?
Yes.
So the gap has to be consistent. Is that a requirement for a discrete? Like like there is a consistent gap of 1 between all of them. Like 1.5 from 2.5, there is a gap of 1.
It's not compulsory all the time. Like suppose we are making any variable which is taking value 1, then 1.5, then maybe
Hmm.
4, then
Hmm.
suppose 6. We can take in
Uh,
this way also.
hmm.
Okay.
See, for this example, it is continuous also, right? So because it's changing every time.
But I'm confused
Uh,
now.
I have taken, okay, don't think in this way. Like this is just for example. Okay, but in most of the practical scenario, you will not see this thing. Okay,
Hmm.
but it's not like it cannot be discrete.
Hmm.
Something which is taking distinct values. try to understand it.
Hmm.
Okay, like suppose we have variable x which is taking only these 4 values. Okay, no other value apart from these.
Hmm.
In that case, it will be discrete.
Ma'am, can you explain both discrete and continuous a little bit, please?
Okay, so continuous something like quick to get a quick understanding of discrete and continuous. Like discrete is something that we count,
Hmm.
and continuous is something that we can measure and cannot count, right?
Hmm.
Like height, weight,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like you can see that height is maybe 175 centimeter, maybe 175.6 centimeter,
Hmm.
right? Like it
Hmm.
can be taking any value.
Hmm.
It is not like the height is 5 feet or like 5, 6 or 7 only.
Hmm.
Okay, it can take any value between these values, right? Like it's kind of interval, and the variable is taking any value in the interval.
Hmm.
Okay, but
Hmm.
it is taking, like if you talk about suppose if you have bottles,
Hmm.
maybe you are having one bottle or two bottles or three bottles. You
Hmm.
cannot have 1.5 bottle, right?
Hmm.
So means based on the situations, we
Yeah,
can
so you
decide.
will
Yeah,
have to see what is the situation, what is
so
the context.
countable or that whatever the range. So based on that, we can decide.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So these are the key points that you can check on your
Hmm.
data, on the variable. Okay.
So it's like it is dependent on how the question is framed. Like if the question is talking about the number, like the number of days,
Yes.
then it is like they're telling it to count, the number, the 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Like yeah. So it is like how the question is framed. We can infer from that, like whether they're talking about
Yeah.
discrete or continuous.
Hmm. And you can check these points that I have mentioned, like it is countable, measurable, or it is taking
Hmm.
distinct values or any values in the interval.
Hmm.
So these things you can check. Okay.
Hmm.
On the basis of these things, you can decide whether it is a discrete or continuous.
Hmm. They're usually whole numbers.
Yeah, usually in most of the practical scenarios, it's like this.
Ma'am, what do you mean by distinct? Like my English is weak.
Distinct, like, do you know Hindi?
Yeah,
Okay, so distinct matlab
Unique
alag alag.
values. Unique values.
unique.
Unique और like in हिंदी में अगर हम कहें तो
हाँ अलग
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 सही
values,
है
right?
सही है हाँ अलग अलग
हम्म,
Okay.
अलग अलग ओके। मतलब वैसी दूसरी वैल्यू नहीं होनी चाहिए
हाँ,
यूनिक। ओके।
unique will not be correct word, but हाँ, like if you have two bottles,
हम्म
like these two are different, right?
हम्म
So here you can see if you're checking on the real line, okay, like it's 0, it's 1, 2. Like each value is different, distinct values it is taking. And here you can see like any value in this line. Okay, so if you talk about like how many numbers or points are there between 0 to 20 on the real line, so there will be infinite points, right? Like 0, 0 0.05, 0 0.005, 0 0.0005. So there will be lots of number, right? So if the scenario is something like this, it will be continuous. Okay, but it is not if it is not taking values between two values, like if you have 1 and 2, like either you can have one bottle or you can have two bottles, no bottle between these two, right? Yeah, so in this way you can understand it.
So I think it's about whether it's countable or uncountable. Like we can't count the infinity. Like if
Yes.
there is 0 to
So what
20, if there are
yeah,
millions of values or infinite values, so we can't
yeah,
count on all of them.
yes, so we cannot count, but what we can do, we can measure it. Like
Yeah.
suppose like height, weight, very general example,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
Ma'am, I have one question actually.
Hmm.
Like it's related to the academics. Like after the qualifier exam, would I be like suppose if I take the term of March or if I take the term of October or December, would these sessions would be available in the calendar or they will disappear?
Uh, Sessions, if you want to see the lecture videos, you can watch on the YouTube, okay?
No,
But
not on the YouTube, but okay, okay, that is there. But the whatever the links there in the calendar, would I be able to access it if I take the course after the qualifying exam, which is of the next to next session? Would that be available, the links and all, or it will disappear from the calendar?
No, they will exist.
Okay,
I'm not really
you are sure?
sure about these things actually.
Yeah, so you just want to like skip some terms and then decide on some other term. Like you we are in a January term, so you are thinking of like maybe joining in May term or the September term. Is that the
Yeah, yeah.
correct?
After the qualifier exam, yes.
Yeah, so what you need to do is when you join at that time, you can add the calendar again,
Yes, that
from
okay.
and then those links will appear again because
Okay, and
live session will continue for everyone, like or in all terms.
okay,
I
but
think
these
you
session
have to
would
start
be
from the
there.
week one. I think when you will join September term, then you have to start from week one. I think I listen in orientation video.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, that is fine. But these links that I'm appearing for the qualifying exam, these videos, would they be available? These videos for the qualifying exam that I have appeared.
एक कौन से वीडियोस मतलब ये वाले वीडियोस जो
ये वाले,
ये
हाँ ये
अभी
वाले,
लाइव सेशन हो
यस,
रहा है?
ये
लाइव
हाँ।
सेशन तो तब भी होते रहेंगे ना?
नहीं, वो तो तब के हो गया, क्वालिफायर के बाद के हो गया। मेरे को अगर ये सुनने हो तो
हाँ,
वापस
तो
से।
ये तो यूट्यूब पे सेव हो गए ना अब तो। अब तो
नहीं नहीं,
यूट्यूब पे अपलोड
कैलेंडर
होगा।
में जो लिंक्स और है यूट्यूब के
हाँ,
साथ में, नोट्स
See,
वगैरह, स्लाइड्स वगैरह, वो।
see,
हाँ।
better what you do. So you are appearing for qualifier. So better you want the links means that session every day. Now you copy and paste it in your your own Excel file. That's it. So you can access it anytime. You don't want to depend on the calendar also. So
ये
this
भी
is
सही
one
है।
way. Yeah. So that is a way you can. It will be helpful for you.
Okay,
हम्म
what can I do is, can you repeat, what did you say?
The links are available now. So maybe tomorrow session, yesterday session you've missed out. You are seeing in the calendar and you are watching, right? The same link you just copy and save it in your Excel in the database like that. So every day sessions. So it will
Okay,
be available. So it will be for if the calendar may be disabled also, you can get the videos.
okay, okay.
मैम, so now question number 4th of this activity questions, like can you are you
Okay.
there? Yeah,
Yes.
so question 6 is done. I want to ask about question 4.
Question number 6.
Yeah, that is done. Like I want to ask about
Yeah, it's
question
done.
4.
Question number 4 for this activity only, right?
Yeah.
What kind of variable is latitude?
Yeah, so I don't know, like I forgot what latitude it like is like, but I think it is about some geographical point somewhere.
Yeah, so
So,
latitude is like in the represented in the angle form, right?
hmm. So
Hmm.
it is usually in a decimal, so that's why I thought like it was continuous. But I don't understand with whether it's numerical or categorical because if we are talking about a place like a geographical point somewhere, so
Hmm.
that seems like a category, like a label. So is the but so that is the I don't understand like it in numerical or categorical. Can you tell?
No, it will be numerical only because it is represented in form of numbers,
Hmm.
like in the angle, right? 90 degree, 95 degree.
Hmm.
There is some range, I think from minus 90 degree to 90 degree.
Hmm.
So like it's angle. So angle
Hmm.
is represented with the help of numbers, right? So it will be numerical only.
Hmm.
It will
No,
not be
no,
categorical.
no. I know that there are numbers, but
Hmm.
it can also be a numerically encoded category. Why I think it is a category because it denotes a place. Like like India has a latitude, like 21
Yeah, that is
point something.
different
So
thing. Like it represents the place also.
hmm.
But if you talk like how it is represented, so it's like in angle form, right?
Hmm.
In degree.
Hmm.
So that is numerical,
Hmm. So
right?
is degree like always numerical? If there is a degree, then it's numerical.
Degrees, yeah, if you're talking about the angles, it will be numerical variable.
Hmm. So
Okay.
can you add or can you perform a mathematical operation on them?
See, for discrete also it will suit, right? So, madam, so because it's a distinct values,
Sorry,
right? Distinct values, right? So discrete also it will suit, right?
sorry, can you please repeat your question?
See, this for the latitude, the
Hmm.
specific location, the values, right? So distinct, so discrete also it will be it will suit, right?
You are saying that latitude is a discrete variable.
Yes, yes.
Actually, we are not like worrying about the place it is representing. Okay, we are talking about how it is represented, latitude. Okay, so like it is represented in kind of degree, minute, something.
Hmm.
Okay, so that will be numerical. Okay, and it will be taking any value in that range. So
Hmm.
that's why it will be continuous.
So we can always have a latitude between any two latitudes, even if they are so close, because it will go in minutes or seconds, right? So it is just like a real number.
So the numerical and discrete also it will be suit, right? The both option will be correct.
Yeah,
No,
numerical and continuous.
Continuous, huh?
numerical and
Yes.
continuous, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is mentioned like more than one options can be correct. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, that's why I was confused. I thought we can't perform mathematical operation on them because it doesn't make sense to add the latitude of India and Pakistan together, or minus or subtract them or multiply them or something. So we are just not talking about the latitude that denotes to a place, but just the value, like just the latitude in itself. That right?
Yes, yes, yes. Like it
Okay.
denotes the place. This is also correct, but that is other thing.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's in a different context altogether. We can have like 2 degrees greater than 1 degree. So we can have a mathematical operator over
Yes.
here in this particular question. That's why it's
Hmm.
numerical.
Hmm. Okay, got it. So yeah. Like latitude is usually used for places, so that's why I was confused.
Yeah, so if we talk about, New Delhi is at what latitude, in that case it can be categorical because we are over here
Hmm,
taking a latitude as to represent that particular place, right? Just like
hmm,
pin code.
hmm, hmm. So yeah, so latitude is basically a very numerical format. It depends on how you use it. If you are using it to denote a place,
Absolutely
then it
right.
becomes categorical.
Right, 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 right. I
But
hope
yeah,
I'm right,
thank you.
ma'am, right?
Yeah, thank you. That's all, ma'am, for now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other question?
No.
Anyone else? If
Madam,
you
Ma'am,
don't,
like mathematics,
sorry
ma'am.
to so related to Menda's session, what date onwards it will be start, madam? Actually,
mentor session, I think from tomorrow it's starting, but I will have to check it again.
okay, okay.
Ma'am, like mathematics, we don't solve selective questions in statics
What
rather
do you
than
mean by
activity.
selective question?
Means like questions rather than activities, other questions.
Yes, if you want to ask, you can ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't solve means in like mathematics because in mathematics we solve.
Okay, so like I'm saying to you that if you want to ask any other question apart from the activities, you can definitely ask to us
Yeah.
in the doubt session. Okay, any other question?
Ma'am, can you tell some important question which can come in qualifier from this week?
Important question.
Really important मतलब आ ही सकते हैं, मतलब पिछले PYQs में भी आए हैं.
So
क्वेश्चन
you
पेपर ही
Like
बता
that.
दो.
you solve PYQs, okay? Similar kind of questions will be there. It's not like we are asking question from anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you try to solve, if you are able to solve all the activity questions, PYQ question, then you will be able to solve the upcoming your exam also.
And one or two, I mean, one or two graded assignment questions are unable to solve.
Okay, so we can discuss it after the deadline.
But it's not statistics, it's mathematics.
Okay, so that you can ask to your respective mathematics instructor. Okay.
Yes, I'm telling.
Yeah, it's the rule. Like it's kind of like you're getting tested by it. Okay, so we cannot tell you the answers before the
Yes,
deadline
yes, I get it.
for the submission.
Okay.
Okay. If no one has any question, then we can end the session.
No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
परेशान करके रख दी दिन माइक के न दिन चैन न रात चैन हर वक्त एक्सरसाइज करावत रहली दिल गई तो हर कलेजा के घंटा हाँ तो अपन सर के चक्कर में हमार भाई की जान ले लेबू अगर हमार भाई की कुछ हो गई ना
Can you please mute your mic? Be aware if you are in the class, right? So maintain the decorum.